Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I'm just letting you know that I'm multi-streaming tonight, and I hope the signal comes in very clear to everybody out there in Utiza land and in Rumble land. And if you haven't followed me on Rumble, why don't you go ahead and do that for me? It helps the videos get around. Also, a thumbs up is always nice to see. So anyway, I got a nice little meme you all might want to share on your meta now that they've loosened the screws they've been putting to us for a long time. Okay? If they calculate what these fires put out, it would be more CO2 in 2 days than every car in America has in decades. In America, not just California, we get all the letters in. So anyway, while folks are coming in, I'm going to play a video in case we get any newbies in about what's going on in this big old world, and we'll see how our transmission's doing. Okay, folks? This is a blast from the past. I'm sure you all will enjoy. I want to keep my Trump signal up. Keep that on the screen along with the Punisher, Mr. T.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina, who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
Boom! Ukraine is at the center of it all. Yeah, the center of it all. And we're going to see, I got a little clip of Jean-Claude Pierre, or whatever her name is, talking about pardon me. How many pardon me's is Biden going to hand out? Hi, sissy, how you doing? Sherry, Colette, Mac is in the house. Debbie, nice to see you, Robin. Doc Honeycutt said, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Damon, Wayne, yeah, he said, give me a thumbs up too. I know I got at least two thumbs up. Hi, Yvonne. Nice to see you. Everybody's rolling in. That's good to see. All right. Todd, nice to see you too, buddy. So we got a crowd coming in. That's good. And now that they loosened stuff up on Meta, we can start copying memes, and putting them up for people to see. And like this picture here, Ouchie. Okay, he's on the list, right? He's on the list to get a pardon, at least the list that we've been compiling. Hi, Justin Bean, how you doing? So we'll see. Will he get a pardon? Now, let me go ahead and play Jean Pierre while we're here. While we're on the subject. Here she is. She looks so sad. What did Trump say about Chuck Schumer? Glum. She looks so glum. But anyway, I wonder how many he's going to do a day. He's got 10 days left. Well, really 9 here in a few hours.
In his interview with the USA Today earlier this week, the president talked a bit about preemptive pardons, saying that they are still potentially on the table. Can you speak a little bit about the scope that he is considering when it comes to that, and if he's any closer to it?
So we have been saying that the president will have more to say, more to announce on pardons and commutations. So that is, we have 10 days to go. So certainly that will be very soon that we'll make those announcements. I'm not going to get into the scope. I'm not going to get ahead of the president, but we will be making some more additional announcements on pardons and commutations before the end of his term.
Well, if he does 1,000 a day, he could get 10,000 in, or 500 a day, get 5,000. It's all up to you, Joe. And, if you're thinking of giving Mr. T a pardon, you can stick it, okay? Stick it. They're having a ball with this Mercon thing. Here's Midas Trash Network. You are hereby sentenced, convicted felon. Trump suffers humiliating criminal sentence in New York. I tell you what, the backlash is that people are looking at this and seeing what Trump has been through, and they're just puked out. They're puked out. How you doing, Gary? Ha ha. K&S Cleanup. How are you doing? So, Justin Bean's here. Oh, that's good. So, I think it's even more solidified. I put Mercon, TikTok. I didn't put a comma in between the two, but we are going to talk about TikTok a little bit. Their deadline's coming up on the 19th. Now, who do you think set that up? The day before Trump takes office. Somebody's supposed to buy it, or they're going to shut it down. When Trump gets worried, I'll get worried. But anyway, Trump was gracious throughout. I may play some videos. I was toying around with playing the audio on some videos and staying live. And I may do that at the end or midway through. We'll listen to some of this stuff from the courtroom about what happened, and also about a lot of other stuff that's going on with these fires and stuff. So anyway, they haven't hit us with something really big yet, but I'm saying be prepared. Be prepared. I'm just looking through the chats. Now, I've been busy setting up my studio. I'm a one-man band, and I hope nothing drastic has happened that I'm unaware of. That's why I check the chats sometimes to see, did something crop up in the last hour and a half, 2 hours? Because that's how long it takes to build a studio. Weird stuff, blast from the past. Did you hear about this? Now, these are words that are banned on UTizzle, okay? Zag, and then Gate, gunman, killed by, Kannapolis police officer after he pulls his GUN on an officer. This, for those of you who may not be familiar with what's going on in this big old world, this was something that led to a lot of people paying attention to 17, okay? That was routinely debunked as a so-called conspiracy theory. And this guy went in and pew-pewed up a pizzeria, and turns out the only thing that his lead struck was the server for the business, wiping out a bunch of stuff. But anyway, that's another story altogether. But we may start seeing people dropping like flies with them trying to hedge their bets or get ahead of the game or something. How you doing, Flannel Cheese? Nice to see you. So, anyway, here's the news on TikTok. What do you think is going to happen with TikTok? You think it's going to go out? I don't think. If they do, Trump has probably got a stack of executive orders, I mean, a foot thick, ready to go from day one. So anyway, remember when Joe Biden came in, executive order, executive order, executive order. Sometimes Kamala had to sit there and prop him up, hold his hand, probably actually work his hand for him. That was 4 years ago. But anyway, TikTok confirms it will shut down in the United States on January 19th unless the Supreme Court strikes down or postpones a law requiring it to be sold. So we shall see. We shall see. You know, and I was wrong. I was wrong. You know, I always jump up and holler when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I wasn't really wrong. I said I didn't see Trump's smile because of the camera angle and the big head of Kamala Harris's husband in the way. And I thought Trump was being serious with him. And I didn't. And plus, this happened too. Got everybody all off the all off the subject. But anyway, Trump. I think I have a clip of him saying it looked friendly. You know, we get along. And there is a picture of him smiling. It's probably only a flash of him smiling, but I'm still of a mind that he was needling Obama. Obama was resisting eye contact, and I think he's nervous. If anything, he probably said, I'm sorry Michelle couldn't make it because she got shaving bumps on her face. You know, she didn't have time to get that cleared up in time for the funeral. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure it will come out for history. Hi, Angela. How you doing? Let's see. Oh, not fire. Yeah, I was, you know, I don't have a lot of time sometimes to think of my titles. There's so much going on. I just, but they're pointing fingers at each other over there in, I want to leave this up since we got so many people in. In case somebody wants to get a screenshot of this and put it up on Meta, it's a fact of life right there. More CO2 in 2 days in every car in America for decades, you know, and they've had, how many fires have they had? Tremendous, huge fires. So they're pointing their fingers at each other, at, white men, you know, anybody they can. What's happened over there is outrageous. Here's an example. This is the Palisades, Pacific Palisades, I guess. Look at the road there. And then you got all those houses lining the road. And then you have the ocean, right? You have waterfront property. Here it is now. There it is now. And, you know, they've been catching arsonists. They've been, people are suspicious over like this scene we're looking at right here. How did the fires get and burn that whole row of houses out? I don't know. I have a video about a insurance guy who's going to be talking about what the skinny is for insurance in that area. Yeah, Fauci. But these creeps are blaming one another. Here's one of them. I don't know which one this is right here. They should be fired. They should, if they had any sense of decency, they would just go ahead and resign and let somebody come in there. But let's see who she blames. I think she blames the leadership. It's not her fault or her friends' faults.
Period. Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Chief Kristen Crowley, I believe the anchors wanted to ask a question back there. Had some comments.
We do, Gigi. If you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez Reservoir being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters, if there's no water, they're going to go find water. They're going to figure out a way to do the best they can with what they've got in a very dynamic situation.
And I know you expressed concerns that those DWP hydrants would not be inspected thoroughly because of the budget cuts.
That is something to discuss, and we're going to look into that in regard to how we can ensure there's going to be water when we need it. But in the end, you know, I'm going to defer that to DWP and whomever else controls the supply. I can guarantee you that when our firefighters showed up on that day with what they had, they did absolutely everything they could do to rescue and to save people's lives and property. And that's the bottom line. Now let's get them what they need to do their jobs. And so
let's get them water, Chief, because I was with your firefighters and they literally were watching a house burn down with pain in their eyes, not being able to do anything except pull water from a swimming pool to try to save a nearby structure that wasn't burning, and literally watching a house burn to the ground because they had no water.
That's exactly right. But did they continue to work? And did they continue to do what they had to do the best they could with what they had? Yes.
Chief, follow-up. Thank you very much.
This is what you call a double talking ass, okay? This is a horse's ass. She doesn't know where the water comes from. She doesn't know anything about the water. Well, I'll let it continue, and we'll take a look at that reservoir. We'll take a look at the salaries these people are getting.
Very much for talking to us. We appreciate it. I believe we have a follow-up question from the studio.
Question on that reservoir issue. Is the fire department aware of when these resources are depleted, just like that reservoir had no water? Was she aware of that fact, that it was under construction and there was no water there?
Sandra Endo, one of our anchors, wants to know if the department is advised that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was going to be emptied. Were you aware that there was no water there?
No, we weren't aware of that.
They don't have to advise you?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So you had no idea that there wasn't such needed resource?
No, we weren't.
All right. Chief Kristen Crowley, again, Chief of the Los Angeles City Fire Department, thank you for talking to us. I know it's been a very exhaustive, emotional, and I imagine you're mad, and I imagine you're sad. You may not want to talk about that anger or that disappointment, but I can see it in your eyes. Thank you. Thank you for talking to us.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your eyes. Well, what you can see in people's eyes is the freaking disaster that you see right here. And let me tell you, you think they're going to let these people rebuild on the other side of the road in front of the ocean? Some of these houses have been there since the 20s, 30s, 1940s, 1950s. I believe even Mo Howard might have had, from the Three Stooges, might have had a home there, built in the 60s, I'm pretty sure. So, no, they've changed the environmental regulations. What do you think they'll do to these people? And I don't care how wealthy they are, how famous they are. I told you about that friend I had that started he's probably worth, God knows what he's worth now. But him and I used to get in arguments. He started a streaming service that's very famous, one of the partners. And I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago. He told me one of the biggest mistakes California ever made was selling the beachfront to private entities instead of having the government take over the entire beachfront of the entire coast of California. That's how wild they are, how rad and indical they are. And they're not going to let these people rebuild. They're not going to let them rebuild. But this dizzy idiot is sitting here saying, we didn't know. We didn't know about the reservoir. Well, you're supposed to keep your ear to the ground for flipping bulletins, notices, what your budget is. If you claim you're a firefighter, you're supposed to know where your water comes from. You're supposed to know if something happens to impact it, where people are walking around with nothing. Los Angeles Times, Pacific Palisades Reservoir was offline and empty when firestorm exploded. Here's a picture of it. Like a big, obsolete, derelict swimming pool, nothing in it. And these people are so inept and self-absorbed with their crotches and their demented brains that they can't keep up with what's going on in their own government. The San Ynez Reservoir, as seen from above, in September of 2022. You idiot, you nincompoop. This was just written yesterday. Everybody and their brother knew it. You're supposed to know it, part of your job. 8 years after California voters approved a $7.5 billion water bond to construct water storage facilities, not one project has reached completion. Meanwhile, untold millions of gallons of fresh snowmelt and rain continue to flow wastefully into the Pacific Ocean. That's almost $1 billion a year since it was approved. Where's the money? Remember when Trump cornered Newsom on that bullet train that he put $1 billion towards, and they didn't have one damn thing to show for it? And he said, I want to know where the money is. Well, since then, they, built like 30 miles of track, who knows? But the money's going somewhere. California voters passed a $7.5 billion water bond, earmarked specifically for new water storage. Not a single water storage project has been completed. these people would screw up the wheel. If they got together in a committee, they would dream up some reason to screw up the freaking wheel. So anyway, here is, I think this is the guy that's going to talk about insurance. And it sounds all right. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. But I'll tell you one thing about these celebrities like Mel Gibson, Norm Macdonald's gone. A lot of names. I think Billy Crystal's house burned down. A lot of people who have been non-political are going to be speaking out about this because their perfect world has been destroyed, and they're going to find out what they've been supporting all the time. But I'll let this insurance guy explain how it's supposed to go.
All right. So I want you to give us the bottom line, whether you believe there'll be the money for the payout, and certainly feel free to add or correct anything that I just laid out.
Well, first, thanks for the opportunity to spend some time with your viewers. Insurance companies that are insuring homeowners and businesses in California have adequate reserves to cover claims associated with this event.
Okay, that's great.
The fair plan. Yeah, well, that is important news, right? So if you have insurance, you're going to make a claim. You're going to end up in a battle with the insurance company because that's always how it works, and there's going to be some delay, and it's going to be very frustrating. But they have the resources to pay the claims. However, as you point out, some number of private insurance companies have been non-renewing policies, including substantially State Farm in the Pacific Palisades area. The state of California, like 35 other states, has set up an insurer of last resort called a FAIR Plan, which is an involuntary private association of all the insurance companies writing in the state. It's not a state agency, it's not taxpayer funded, but it's required to offer an insurance policy if you can't find a private insurance policy. So because many homeowners in Pacific Palisades were non-renewed by their insurer, many of them ended up on the FAIR Plan. That explains why the FAIR Plan has about $5.89 billion in exposure just in Pacific Palisades. The other reason that number is so big is because the average home value in Pacific Palisades is about $3.5 million. So both the policy numbers and the amount of the value of the home has created a significant and substantial exposure for the FAIR Plan. Can we say at this moment that the FAIR Plan has inadequate reserves and inadequate reinsurance to cover claims? No, we don't know that. What we do know, though, is they have about $200 million in reserves, $2.5 billion in reinsurance, and if they blow through that, state law allows them first to assess all the private insurers up to $1 billion, not each, but collectively, to further cover any losses the FAIR Plan has. But then after that, under an order that was issued last year, the FAIR Plan can get permission to then assess through the private insurers all policyholders in California. So the bottom line is, if you have a FAIR Plan policy, you're going to get, and your home is destroyed or damaged, the FAIR Plan has either enough resources directly or the ability to assess to cover those claims. However, it's going to be a rude awakening for many Californians if in fact they get assessed because the FAIR Plan doesn't have enough money.
Right. All right, Dave Jones, that was very important context, really well laid out in a succinct way. I appreciate it. I wish I had more time with you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinn.com.
A lot of people are going to get a rude awakening. A lot of people are going to get a rude awakening, and a lot of land is going to be eminent domain confiscated by the states. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But as you saw those pictures of the flames going by, remember, there were gusts up to 40 miles an hour. And it doesn't sound like a lot when we've talked about hurricanes in the past and stuff, but it is a pretty steady and vicious wind when there's flame involved. Okay. Did the Getty Museum burn? I had a picture of it, flames approaching it. But they were using those drop buckets. Here, you know, I get these little clips because I enjoy stuff like this. But I will enlarge it. This is showing one of these planes scooping up. There's two of them. There's one leaving. You see the one behind there. It's dragging those container buckets and taking 1,000 gallons. That's 8,000 pounds per trip. So let me cut my mic off and play it. Let's see. Boy, that takes some skill there. Some skill. And yeah, I saw that, Angela, where some ninny was flying a drone, and they didn't realize the plane had been damaged till they landed. And it turned out it had a hole in the hull of the plane. So it's out of action. So they're down to one plane out of action till Monday. And they said they were going to catch who did that, whose drone it was. They'll isolate the Wi-Fi in that area and just walk it back. They'll probably be able to find out exactly where the operator was standing. Hi, Pappy, how you doing? Nice to see you. Anybody who else rolled in? Miss Mendersu, how you doing? Nice to see you. So, Lone Wolf, hi, how you doing? Asked, knew somewhere the money went. Colette says, well, he ain't going to take. We know where it went, to the Pelosi crime family and their extended group. But people are, this is, it's terrible, it's awful, but it is also a wake-up moment. Here's another article about some of these idiots in charge. There she is. What's her name? Karen Bass. Leaked memo reveals L.A. Mayor Karen Bass demanded her fire department cut an extra $49 million just 1 week before wildfires broke out. Come on. They're going to sit there and tell us that they didn't know those reservoirs were bone dry for 2 years. They're going to tell us that nobody knew that State Farm, one of the largest nationwide insurers, canceled people's policies months ago. A cut they're demanding like this, $49 million, while I'm sure their salaries were not, and perks were not affected. Here you go, get a screenshot of this puppy right here. 10 highest paid employees, City of Los Angeles. Look what these people make. Base, overtime, and other. You got the top one making $250,000 a year in overtime. That's the lead dispatcher. Department of Water and Power. Let's take a good look at this. This is unreal. This is unreal. Fire captain. The second one. He makes $176,000 and got $613,000 in overtime. Over $500,000. This is criminal. Look at his totals. Anywhere from $750,000 to nearly $1 million, except for the bottom one, labor supervisor, Brad Weller. The bottom guy got over $250,000. Well, who's this oddball second from the bottom? Didn't get any overtime. John Dwyer, chief port pilot. Oh, so they use the bathroom on the pilots. They don't let the pilots in on this slush fund. Get a load of that overtime, folks. Unreal. And what the hell is other? Oh, I see John Dwyer got $373,000 in other. I guess, I don't know. They didn't pay him overtime. They paid him other. But he's not too far off. Yeah, he is quite a bit off. They balanced it out some other way. I thought we had an honest one in the bunch, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Put that on Meta. Ask everybody what do you think about that? How would you like to get a job in LA and then let the whole damn place go up in smoke and talk a bunch of smack? Make excuses that you're the victim. People just don't understand you. Here we go. Here we go. I didn't trim that one up yet, but Karen Bass, California. There you go. So anyway, yeah, they got to go. What am I missing in the chats? Oh, they get overtime from somewhere, Angela. Well, the smelt is an excuse. The smelt is an excuse. Gary said, boom, all right. Well, that tells me Gary's gone to buy me a coffee. And I want to thank Ann, too, for day before yesterday going to buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it, everybody that's helped me out this month. Thank you very much, Gary. You're a trooper. I'm just looking through the... I'm sure the property records, contracts will be investigated. We will see. We will see. What's this? Canada plots broad tariffs retaliation if Trump starts a trade war. What are you talking about? One proposal would touch most products the U.S. sells to Canada. Canada buys almost as much from U.S. as the European Union does. Well, we'll have to see about that. We'll see how long that little war goes on. Good luck. Good luck. Here's something for you all to cogitate on. Mr. T posted this. Donald J. Trump posted this. What's going on here? And you see Judge Engoron. New York court assigns new judge in Trump civil fraud case stemming from AAG. A New York court assigned a new judge to preside over the civil fraud case against President-elect Trump and brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Trump, other than what's going on here. And normally I would say, yay. But if you all will remember, a couple of years ago, I said, yay, when they took a guy off of a Florida case that was dragging the Florida case Donald Trump had against Hillary Clinton and others. He was suing them civilly for the Steele dossier and the Russia hoax. They pulled that judge off, and he ended up being the judge assigned to signing the warrant for the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And the judge that took his place, the senior judge, Judge Middleton, dismissed the cases against Hillary by Trump and sanctioned his attorneys. A lawfare that is not being covered by the media. So I don't know. Not something I'm going to celebrate, especially when Trump says, "What's going on here?" But Don Jr. put this up. Oh my gosh. They put Pete Hegseth's NAZI tattoo on the cover of Jimmy Carter's funeral program. Think the media's going to do anything about that? They showed the tattoos on his arm and got everybody all worried that he was some kind of crazy biker. But the same exact one is on Jimmy Carter's program for his funeral. Nobody will talk about it. You know, I saw somebody post this today, and I believe this was from a year or more ago. And it is, you see that little line underneath, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you"? Somebody cobbled this together. TD USA, I think it was, on YouTube. But anyway, it was a tweet from Behezy George. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's a year old or more. Breaking. Trump lawyer Mike Davis. I believe this is when Mike Davis fell out of favor to become the Attorney General. Because he's still liked. He's still in the circle. But listen to what he put out. Trump lawyer Mike Davis just issued a major warning to Judge Juan Merchan and all other Democrats who engaged in lawfare against President Trump. The Democrats think they're hunters. On January 20th at noon, they're going to become the hunted. Davis then told Judge Merchan to, quote, lawyer up after Trump takes office. Quote, "I want to throw his third world Marxist trash's ASS in prison and then revoke his citizenship and send him back to Colombia." Wow. We love his energy. Prison is where these lawfare goons belong. Or was that a recent one? Because Mike Davis, isn't he the same one that said he would put Letitia's fat ASS in prison? I didn't know Merchan came from Colombia. I didn't know he wasn't a U.S.-born citizen. So, you know, you look at how many people, and as I've said many times, my dear sweet mother was an immigrant. Thank you very much. And but she was American to the bone. But you look at how many people are having a heavy influence on this country. And it is not their nation of birth. Things going a little too far, wouldn't you say, with some of that immigration? And Trump also put the words acting judge, acting jurist in front of Merchan's title with quote marks around acting. And I'm wondering what the deal is on that. They wheedled him in there somehow. Just like the one that got the warrant on Mar-a-Lago was a little magistrate judge, okay, kind of like a little assistant. They get to do their dirty work. Excuse me while I was sipping my coffee. Well, that's good. Thank you, Gary. And everybody else. But anyway, Trump put this out after the idiots came out with their sentence. You know what? I was going to put wet noodle in a picture of Mercan on the thumbnail, just saying wet noodle, because he couldn't even hit him 3 times with a wet noodle. That's how much authority he had to punish Trump. He couldn't hit him 1 time with a wet noodle. He had to settle for attempting to sully himself when all he's done is sully the bench and sully the reputation of our judicial system. The radical Democrats have lost another pathetic un-American witch hunt. After spending tens of millions of dollars, wasting over 6 years of obsessive work that should have been spent on protecting New Yorkers from violent, rampant crime that is destroying the city and state, coordinating with the Biden-Harris Department of Injustice, lawless weaponization, and bringing completely baseless, illegal, and fake charges against your 45th and 47th president, me. I was given an unconditional discharge. I heard about Glenn Beck and a couple of the guys making jokes about discharges. But anyway, that result alone proves, as all legal scholars and experts have said, there is no case, there never was a case, and this whole scam fully deserves to be dismissed. The real jury, the American people, have spoken by reelecting me with an overwhelming mandate in one of the most consequential elections in history. 124 years to be exact. As the American people have seen, this, quote, case has no crime, no damages, no proof, no facts, no law, only a highly conflicted judge, a star witness who is a disbarred, disgraced serial perjurer, and criminal election interference. Criminal election interference. Today's event was a despicable charade, and now that it is over, we will appeal this hoax, which has no merit, and restore the trust of Americans in our once great system of justice. Make America great again. Well, that means not just Mercan. Gotta go. But we're looking all the way up to Roberts. If I'm able to play some of that audio from the courtroom, I believe they read parts of Roberts' opinion. If they didn't, I'll find it somewhere. Roberts said some snotty stuff about Trump. And I don't know how he got Amy Coney Barrett to play along. But remember, Trump's second Republican convention was held at the White House. Amy Coney Barrett was sworn in by Clarence Thomas on national television instead of John Roberts. Everybody knows that was a slap at John Roberts. And later on, he swore in Amy Coney Barrett in private. Roberts did. But for the official ceremony, Trump used Clarence Thomas. So that was a signal right there. So, yeah, Trump's being cordial and nice to Obama, but that doesn't mean they're not going to get their rear ends cracked. So they're going to have to do the right thing. So here, just this is a very short clip. The National Guard showing up in L.A. It's going to be some kind of, look, there's the beach. Nobody's going to get to build on it. Here's the National Guard. We're going to keep you all off the beach. There's going to be some kind of military control. And like I said, it would be more than likely that it is called out because of Biden, not Trump. So there's going to be another event come about. And speaking of events, here is what, when Trump was asked about the drones, he said, well, you'll hear him say it, but I'll just go ahead and tell you now. He said a lot of things, but he said that probably the day after he takes office, he will let the American people know what the story is on the drones. Okay, so I'll play it now so you can hear him.
A story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you said that you knew you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think, will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Is it dangerous? Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor, you're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it.
They know. They know, and it's very strange that they're not talking about it. Speaking of not talking about things, hi, Ann, how you doing? Nice to see you. Well, you know, I see what y'all are saying. There's too much going on in such a compressed period of time for there not to be something going to happen. Something is going to happen. Now, a lot of what is making news and going on is the mere presence of Trump, his statements and actions. He's already got the media in a state of shock and awe by just being presidential and being himself. But then you see these undercurrents that are going on, like the fires in L.A., like these mysterious drones. Well, you can't help but get the feeling that they ain't going down easy. They don't want him to get the keys to the kingdom. They don't want him getting power to the one entity that has not been corrupted, and you all know what that entity is. It's called the U.S. military. You heard Glenn Youngkin talk about the biggest air base, Quantico, okay? SEAL teams. You have got a laboratory at Quantico, criminal forensic level, the best in the nation. The FBI borrows Quantico's facilities, okay, to do satellite enhancements, photograph enhancements, facial recognition, DNA, all kinds of stuff. And it's all part of military intelligence, and it's the base, the home base of the United States Marine Corps, which is the president's own. So, with Trump saying that he's going to tell the people what this drone business is once he gets in, he's going to do this when he gets in, do that when he gets in. They don't want him in. How far will they go? How far will they go? And we got to be ready for whatever they try to do. I tell you what, I'm going to play this video because I think it's representative of what's not only going on in our nation, but in the world. Do you all remember Leo Terell when he would go on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, wherever they'd let him go, and he was an aggravating, ignorant liberal? I am not saying by his mental capacity. I'm talking about what he bought into and believed and where he used to plant his flag. He was the most annoying voice, right up there with Geraldo Rivera, just maybe a half a click above Geraldo Rivera for being stupid and putting out a bunch of liberal nonsense. Well, this is Leo Terell now. Let me pull him up. Come on, Leo. Did I have my mic off? Is my mic on or off? Oh, it's on. Okay. Let me get him. Let me size him up here. And he's woken up. He's not woke. He's awake. There's a big difference.
Hi, Leo 2.0 here, big-time Trump supporter, January 9th, 2025. Earlier this week, I told you I had a big announcement. Here it is. Today was my last day at Fox News as a Fox News contributor. I want to thank Fox News and the great management staff and all the producers and the anchors and everyone associated with this great news organization. For the last 4.5 years, you gave me the opportunity to debate and discuss the issues facing this great country, and I truly appreciate it. I made a lot of great friends at Fox News, one of the best, if not the best, news organization ever. Today, the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, appointed me as a senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General in the Civil Rights Division. I want to thank the President. I accepted the position because I want to help President Trump make America great. This is an honor. And for those people who have heard me articulate my views on the equality of law and treating everyone fair, help is on the way. For those people who believe that the system was used illegally against certain groups because of their political views, help is on the way. If you know how I've articulated my views on what is fair and unfair, what is legal and illegal, it's my goal to work with President Donald J. Trump, with Pam Bondi, with Harmeet Dillon, and we are going to provide fairness in the legal system and make America proud of the United States Department of Justice. God bless America. God bless President Trump. God bless everyone. And thank you again, Fox News Corporation.
He seems healthier, happier, definitely more stable. In the past, he would be on the side of Barack Hussein Obama, and you heard how he ended up his discussion. God bless America. God bless everybody. What was he saying? What was he listening to when Barack Hussein Obama was coming into office? They were listening to that preacher that said, no, God don't bless America. You know what he said? GD America. You remember that preacher? I forget his name off the top of my head, but Leo Terell had the same hard heart, the same anger, and you saw it in his personage and his face, and I am so glad for him, and I'm so glad that it's not just him, but millions of people that were in that psychological state of anger, hate, and a hard heart have changed and come to find peace and come to find goals and come to be a part of a movement that is going to change the world. So that's why I played that for Leo Terell. If you ever remember listening to him, it's day and night. Day and night. So, good for you, Leo. We're glad for you. 10 days. Dan Scavino posted this, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And tomorrow it's going to be 9 days, right? In just a few short hours. Anyway, I've got another video here of, I got these videos of Schmuckerberg. People have been censoring those, but I'm going to play them without censoring. Yeah, before I do that, I'm going to play this clip of Mr. T. Mr. T. Here we go. I think this is, he might be talking about Obama. I'm not sure.
Off the top, you mentioned the Carter funeral today. What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
It did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well, which is good.
In California.
Getting along. Yeah, well, that's a good thing for the President of the United States, President-elect, to put out to the nation, okay? A calming message. But you know what? A lot of people, I've heard friends and I've heard people say, oh, Trump was too friendly with Obama. As many terrible things that Obama has done. But the flip side of that is that a lot of liberals are going, wait a minute, Obama, weren't you calling him the greatest threat to the USA, the greatest threat to America, worse than Adolf and all? What are you doing being friendly with Trump? So I think it's puts a question mark on people like Obama much, much more than it does Trump. And Trump is going to elevate himself from, he's going to order the trash to get taken out. He's not going to be the garbage man, okay? That's why he's got other people coming in. The boss doesn't take the trash out. He tells people, take the trash out. So I believe that's what's going to happen. The trash is going to get taken out. All right, let's see what creepy little Mark Zuckerberg's got to say. I got two clips from him. And, I want to put things in reference, a frame of reference. This is when birds sing. He's dropping a dime on the intelligence agencies. He's probably got to up his security just like Elon Musk right now, because he's going to have a lot more to say than what he is saying now. But he is coming out and admitting that the constitutional rights of Americans were being violated on a daily basis about extremely serious issues like their own personal health and the health of their children, what was happening to our president, what operations were ongoing to tear down Trump, to force people to comply with experimental medicines, okay? I'm going to push it a little bit and say that medicine, okay? I don't know how it's going to come through on transcript, but I'll go ahead and play it, and I'm not censoring anything. This is an entity that is in charge of one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. It's being reported on regular news, and it has something to do with every American, with their freedom of speech, their freedom of choice, and their freedom to be fully informed. Okay? So if I get in trouble for it, I hope not. We'll see.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous.
Well, the second clip has got some terms in there that might be a problem. I don't know, but I'm going to play it anyway. No beeps, no bleeps.
This is something where I think X and Twitter just did it better than us on fact-checking. We took the critique around around misinformation. We put in place this fact-checking program, which basically empowered these third-party fact-checkers. They could mark stuff false, and then we would downrank it in the algorithm. I think what Twitter and X have done with community notes, I think is just a better program. Rather than having a small number of fact checkers, you get the whole community to weigh in. When people usually disagree on something, tend to agree on how they're voting on a note, that's a good sign to the community that there's actually a broad consensus on this, and then you show it. And you're showing more information, not less, right? So you're not using the fact check as a signal to show less. You're using the community note to provide real context and show additional information. So I think that's better.
Okay, this clip was just about the fact checks. He didn't get into the thing you put in your arm. I thought I had that clip. Probably for the best that I didn't. But now let me put him back up there. He does look like he's wearing a wig. Am I losing my? That I don't know. I see some people saying that's not him. Underground bunker. That's right, Roland. He can be nice till he pulls the lever. And they know what he's going to do. But this Zuckerberg is going to drop a dime on everybody, and the intelligence agencies are not going to want him to do it big farm, okay, is not going to want him to do it. The bureaucratic state isn't going to want him to do it. The principalities that we've been dealing with for 500 to 1,000 years aren't going to want him to do it. Speaking of principalities, Greenland. There's Greenland taking a look at good old USA. And Denmark saying, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, he kind of lizard-eyed. But if that's really him, if it's not him, it wouldn't be a lizard. Or a robot or whatever the hell he is. Yeah, I thought I had a more dramatic clip from Schmuckerberg, but I must have, that's okay. Judge Mercan's daughter's clients lead the congressional Democrats' obstruction efforts against Trump. This is from Laura Loomer, who had a little fight with Elon Musk, and apparently Trump threw a wet blanket on both of them, and they're playing nice now. As President Trump is set to be sentenced, and we already know he has been, on Friday morning, it is essential to mention the important fact that Judge Mercan's daughter's clients consist of the leading congressional Democrats. Oh, okay. So, there's going to be a paper trail. There's going to be a paper trail, and Mike Davis is probably not far off the mark about what he can do to Mercan. Once they find out where the money's going, follow the money, okay? And Mercan's daughter is getting a hell of a pile of it. And you got this wild cards like Laura Loomer reporting on it. Polish government allows Netanyahu to attend the 80th anniversary of Auschwitz liberation. Bold letters, guarantees safety despite ICC warrant, Prime Minister. International Criminal Court warrant. So the Polish government is guaranteeing his safety. But what's this? Israeli press reports that the Israeli Prime Minister has refused to travel to the United States for Trump's inauguration because of the ICC arrest warrant. Where'd Jack Smith come from? The International Criminal Court is out of The Hague. That's where Jack Smith came from, right? So the Prime Minister of Israel doesn't feel safe arriving here before Trump takes the oath of office. Would they do something like that to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power? Damn right they would. Damn right they would. But nobody's reporting on that. Something that serious. I didn't get this clip. Might have been when I screwed up the Zuckerberg clip. But anyway, a woke pastor. Welcome to the Westdale United Church. My name is Reverend Evan Swance Smith, and I use he, she, they as pronouns. This is a pastor of a church. I don't want to play a video with that kind of, look at that. They're either making that kid is either making a sign of the cross, putting their hand up their forehead, like what in the world is going on here? But there's some congregation with some crazy liberal freaks, I guess, giving them money. I'm not going to say what denomination I think it is, but y'all can surmise on your own. Clandestine put out, it's going to be hilarious when the convicted felon meets with Xi and Putin and puts an end to World War III, meaning The establishment just spent the last 8+ years weaponizing the media, their justice system, the international court, etc., against the guy who ends up preventing nuclear war. And you see the word he put in, tree and then sun. And it's the famous picture of Trump sitting behind the Oval Office from Time magazine that shows him being calm in a storm. Trump will need to get approval from Congress if he wants to lift sanctions against Russia after coming to power, the White House says. Now, here's where we have, I think, the potential for a constitutional conflict. I won't say crisis. Foreign power falls under, foreign relations are under the purview of the president, not Congress. Of course, the power of the purse is with Congress. But the question of whether they can compel him to tiptoe around acts of war, okay, seizing assets of another country and giving them to another country, which could spark a world war because Congress says so, I don't believe that is within Congress' power. But we'll see. Here we have Canada is preparing for a trade war. I showed you that article earlier. With the United States, it intends to impose retaliatory tariffs if Trump follows through with his threat to impose tariffs on Canadian goods. Canadian government sources told Bloomberg. In 2018, Canada already imposed tariffs on certain American goods in response to Trump's actions. This time, Ottawa is ready to impose tariffs on almost all goods so that their currencies are equalized in tariffs. Currently, $1 Canadian is equal to 69 US dollars. Outgoing Prime Minister Trudeau's government is exploring its options for retaliation, but hopes Trump will not impose 25% tariffs on all Canadian goods, as he has promised. Remember, Trudeau's going to be there for another 5 months. Another 5 months. So there's another potential tinderbox. I don't know if that's the best term to use. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen does not plan to attend Trump's inauguration. She was not invited, the European Commission said. So, the EU is on Trump's back burner. Here we go. What's this? The possibility of military annexation of Greenland to the United States under the elected U.S. President Donald Trump could become the shortest armed conflict in human history. This opinion is cited in the article by the Politico newspaper, which cites analysis assessments. You see, they start off with a blatant damn lie. Trump never said he was going to go in there. But they write an article and cogitate on it as being a possibility, as if Trump said he would. They are liars. And this is what's being said over in Eastern Europe. They're getting their information from liars like Politico. Denmark is well aware that it cannot defend Greenland from anyone alone. The question is, who the Americans will fight? With their own military? They are already there. The newspaper cites the opinion of Christian Sobey Christensen, a senior research fellow at the Center for War Studies at the University of Copenhagen. Earlier, Trump published a video in which the residents of Greenland asked him to buy the island. Yeah, I got that video. Hold on. I screwed up on the Zuckerberg one, but I did get the Greenland one. Where are you? Here we go. Here we go. This is the video that Trump put up about the people of Greenland.
If you could say anything to Donald Trump, what would you tell him?
God bless you. You are so strong and we love you so much. Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Why Greenland?
Do you want to be part of America? Yeah. You do. You do.
You do.
Also, what do you think?
I have a feeling this guy does too. Do you want Donald Trump to buy Greenland?
Oh, yes.
Donald Trump have Greenland. More protection. More life. More. So beautiful land.
God bless you and you are great.
Your guys' message for President Trump.
President Trump, he is the greatest on earth. Yes, of course. Good luck to future.
Do you want America to buy Greenland?
Yep.
And what do you think is going to get better in Greenland if Trump buys the country?
Education system and health care systems.
So you're not a fan of what Denmark has in place for you guys right now?
Denmark, they don't take care of us.
So you think you would be better off associated with the U.S. rather than Denmark?
I believe.
Do we need to make Greenland great again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See you soon, Donald.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive video. That's pretty impressive video. But what did Danish TV say? Danish TV claims that Trump's team bribed homeless people to record a video about Greenland in exchange for food. Who do you think is homeless in Greenland, which is covered in ice, 90% of it? Where do these homeless people go? Did that look like homeless people to you all? So, Danish TV has been conquered by the evil ones. So, Mr. Bender Sue, mainstream media. Hi, Araceli, how are you? So, Yep, things are looking pretty good for Greenland. Now, I've got another video, real short clip, and we'll see how many clips like this come out about what's going on in L.A. Thug tossing gasoline to feed the fire. I believe they probably got license plates. I want to remind you all, and I'll probably have to research it and find the posts on the 17th letter. That links to articles showing dozens and dozens of people who were identified, arrested, and convicted for committing arson in California during the fires about 7 years ago. Okay, but here, what's this guy doing?
How are they throwing gasoline? The fuck?
Yeah, they're not going to be hard to identify. You can bet that they'll be able to trace the person who had that phone taking the video, and they'll be able to triangulate everybody with an electronic device around them at that time, and they'll catch those people. We're gonna have to build a 65,000 bed El Salvadorian prison like they built in El Salvador. So it's going to be a lot of the you know what hitting the fan. Let me see. I'll just check the chats and see what's going on. Oh, yeah, it's going to get finalized, Angela. Yeah, it's going to go through 48,000 people. And, you know, Denmark has been treating them like garbage, just using their resources and acting like they ghosts. Nothing. I tell you, it is thrilling, isn't it, Gary? It's got me on my toes also. I'm just looking through the studio here. I was going to go to a off platform, try to play a video, but I'll do that probably tomorrow night. We'll do an analysis. I'm going to see if I can find some better videos. I want to take a look at what John Roberts said in his opinion as to why he agreed to let Merchan sentence Donald Trump. And you hear the prosecutor say that they want to cement him as a convicted felon, which is a ridiculous thing to admit on the record for a court. I'm curious as why Amy Coney Barrett turned her back on Donald Trump and why, well, we know why Roberts did. I should have got that picture of him standing in the Bahamian waters with a beer with Bill Clinton and a couple of other ne'er-do-wells. But don't want to push it, but so far. All right, folks. I want to see if I've got we're coming up on the hour and a half mark. Coming up on an hour and a half mark. Here we go. Here's a nice little. Did I ever show you that one? All the lefties. Here's Clarence. That's going to be our new Chief Justice, Clarence Thomas. I think with what is coming, John Roberts is not going to be in the picture. Who's going to lose their job? Let's see. Where'd it go? I thought I saw a chat. Somebody said she's going to lose her job. I don't see it now. I'm not taking any comments down. Remember her daughter. Remember the daughter. You talking about Clarence? I mean, which daughter are we talking about? Hi, Hebrew. How you doing? Yeah, it's not the first time maybe we went against T. But Roberts had some kind of controversy with his children being illegally adopted from Ireland. That's pretty much publicly known. But, well, I'm just wondering what people were talking about. She's going to lose her job. I don't know if Amy Coney Barrett is being, Mercan's daughter. Oh, okay, Angela, I see it. Yeah, I put that article up with Laura Loomer about Mercan's daughter and her influence. So, anyway, folks, let's see. I'm going to do a couple of little closeout videos. I want to hear about Letitia James getting her fat rear end locked up, and then I'm going to play you the Putin cleaning house at the end. So let's plan on getting together tomorrow. I hope you all had taken the chance to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not following my channel on Rumble, please make sure you hit the follow button and like, share, and subscribe here on YouTizzle, and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And again, I appreciate all of you all for spending your precious time with me, and hopefully I'll be able to go live tomorrow. But if you've hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. Ha ha. And it might not be a picture show. We'll see. I might just sit here and babble. So anyway, that's what I was going to do tonight anyway, but I changed my mind. All right, folks. Enjoy these 2 videos. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
Tish James, the New York Attorney General, I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. You want to play games? Okay. Have a night with you. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.